we're going mobile. I've got the camera set up on my dash, and we're going on a little ride. I am off to, I'm leaving Quartzsite, and I'm going to Parker, Arizona. I have to go to a hardware store, pick up a piece of wood, to strengthen my rig a little bit, some inside panels. And then Walmart. And I don't know if we're going to capture the shopping, but I got about a 35-minute trip that you guys are going to see. You're going to see me leaving my campsite right now. Okay, here we're going to be going through a wash. You can't see it, but you'll see my vehicle dropping. When it rains, this will be flooded, and I only use this when I take my truck out. I cannot obviously take the trailer through there. There would be, it wouldn't be good. Okay, now we're heading on to the only paved road in La Posa South. You see those mountains ahead, because of the way the camera's set, it looks more, I mean, they're much more majestic to the naked eye. See here, driving through, all kinds of rigs. There's one approaching, there's a Class B, and you've got people in the big zone of the buses, then you got people in travel trailers, tents, people bring their own water, jugs, and trailers. Oh, here's one, look at the military, look at that, we got Trump signs, and flags. Not out, so I can't say anything. And my eyes are pre-programmed to pick up Marine Corps flags. And here we're coming up to the gate. I hope this video comes out all right volume-wise. My Rode microphones are one of the receivers charging right now, so I can't use the mics. And here we are, we're coming up to the gate. And then I'll be heading straight down 95 for maybe about 25 miles or so before we make a turn to head over to Parker. Straight ahead, I mean, that's just majestic, that mountain. Again, it doesn't seem that way to you right now, but yeah, it's pretty big. So I leave my trailer, I'll be gone about 3 hours, and turn off all the propane. It's warming up, the dogs will be fine for a few hours. Like a practice for when I go to Mexico in a few weeks. That'll probably be a 6-7 hour trip. They should be fine. Alright, here's a 95, not like the 95 on the East Coast. But this is a State 95. And this is heading north now. And on my right is La Posa North. There are 4 La Posas. La Posa North is on the right, La Posa West, and then behind us is south where I came from, and then Tyson Wash, right across from there. So La Posa, the LTVAs, long-term visitor areas, there are 4 of them, where you can pay for 2 weeks, $40, $180 for the season, which is going up to $300 next year, which includes water, garbage disposal, waste disposal, and there's actually not a bad deal even at $300. There hasn't been a increase since 1983. Now I'm experimenting. I'm playing some music a little light, so I hope it doesn't destroy the video. But I'm listening to Spa on XM. XM is great. I hooked it up in the vehicle because there are some times I'm not going to have any coverage. Okay, here we're approaching the gates for La Posa North and La Posa West, and also approaching town, so to speak. I don't know if you can see it, your police officers. Coming up on the left, you might see a big tent. It doesn't look that big to you, but it's long. That's where the show is going to be starting Saturday for 8 days. You're going to have an RV show. You're going to have all kinds of gadgets there. People doing presentations. Right now, you've got the Home on Wheels Alliance and Cheap RV Living doing their RTR, Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, and that's a little bit further into town in the park. I haven't gone to it. And even out here, we have a Mickey D's, 24 hours. A lot of people ride e-bikes. All these rigs on the left, they were brought in for the show. There's a dealership up here, Mesa RV, they're national. And they just filled up their property just for the show. So on the left, we have Tyson Wells, which is it's like a flea market type thing, a lot of shops. People come in just for the show. And up ahead is just a van, customized for camping. I mean, you see everything out here. There's some pretty whack homemade stuff. Problem with those is sometimes if you want to go to regular campgrounds, they won't let you in. Not that I plan on doing that much, but as I head east, if I decide to do that, go further east in Texas, when I leave here, it's going to be very limited as far as the free lands go. Here's the dealership on the right. I mean, it's La Mesa RV, they're national, and here they just filled it up. From one day to the next, they brought all these rigs in for the sale. This is Main Street in Quartzsite. Shopping to the left and the right, gas stations, more mountains. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of these businesses shut down when the season's over, but a lot stay open because there are a few thousand people that live here permanently. But to be this far out on in federal land, BLM land, to go camping, and to have these services available, you got propanes, you got showers. It's pretty cool, and I've grown to like it. In fact, since I'll be traveling so much, to get a break and stay here about 6 months is pretty cool. And here we're passing businesses on the right and left, RV parks. My buddy Todd and his wife Mary are staying near here. They were with me over at Thunder Canyon in Alabama at the RV Odd Couples place. Todd is the gentleman I'll be going to Mexico with. And as you see, just it's nothing extravagant. Everything here is basic. There's no need to, if you're opening up a business, to have anything that's really decorated. And the buildings are made, pretty bare bones, which saves quite a bit of money. Now, as you see, we're leaving, and you're going to see more and more brush. know some people are staying there, and they are still a BLM, Bureau of Land Management land, but these are not associated with the long-term visitor areas. So there's and there are no amenities there, no services there. You're completely on your own, but you have a 2-week stay, and then you have to move 25 miles away when you're on federal land. How do they monitor that? Some sites, I gather, are not monitored, so you can get away with it, but the majority of them, a lot of them have camp posts, and they will monitor you once you arrive, and put you in the system, and that's how they enforce the 25 miles. And around here it is, because of Quartzsite. Even though there are probably some other areas people have found. And here we are. Now we pretty much almost left everything. Coming up ahead on the right, maybe another half mile or so, you're going to see some trailers. And there are some here on the left. It's amazing. This is just all it's... Now out here, when you're doing your boondocking out here, since there aren't as many people as there are at the LTPAs, you have a lot more wildlife out here. There have been cougar sightings, mountain lion sightings, just in the last few days out here. Not to mention the coyotes. So here on the right, there are quite a few rigs parked. And again, all sizes and shapes. You got people in tents. You got people in Class Bs, Class Cs, Class As, travel trailers like what I have. It's amazing. So now we're going today to Parker. It's outside of going to Blythe, California, which is only about maybe 20 minutes away from us. But then you have to cross the border, which is not a big deal, except for the fact if there are no weapons allowed in California. So I'd go to Parker, take care of my shopping there, and this is probably a trip I'll make every 3 weeks or so. I can get quite most of my food in Quartzsite, but there are also some things I need to get, especially for the dogs, to keep them on their particular diet. I'm switching them from, they're still going to eat dry food, but all their wet food I give them at night, I'm going to start cooking on my own. Basic recipes, just carrots and peas and ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken or green beans. Cook that up for them. I put them away in packets in the freezer, and they'll be healthier. And I don't know if there's actually going to be that much of a money savings, but it's going to be all good for them. Even though they're doing well, they're adjusting. Princess, the white one, if everybody knows her, she's kind of, she hasn't met an ankle she wouldn't bite. But she's the one that freaks out over the fireworks, and not only the fireworks, but when we have the wind gusts. And unlike when we were in the house doesn't really shake unless it's a hurricane. But out here, 30, 40 mile an hour winds, and my rig is not going to tip over, but it does shake, and she does get a little nervous at that. Alright, here we go. We're just, this is what you see, man. This is the desert. And, all the vegetation here was designed by God to live here, to go deep down and get water, to survive. Here on the right's another BLM campground called Plamosa Road. It's amazing the people descending on this area right now, especially with the show starting next week. And come March, the exodus will start. A lot of people will leave after the show. But February will be busy from what I'm told. And then it starts slowing down. As it gets hot, once you start hitting the 80s on a consistent basis, out here you're going to have people that are going to, number one, if you don't have a way to put AC, I can run mine. That affects your length of stay, and also the critters start coming in. I heard that 3 days in a row of 80 degrees, and anything that is burrowing, that has been burrowing underground to wait out the cold weather, that will include scorpions, even though people have seen them, rattlesnakes, pack rats, even though some of them may be out, but there are a lot of critters that are not, and they will come out. My rig is kind of prepared for it. Another reason I got the one I did, it doesn't have a lot of entryways for for critters to get in, which is a hazard when you're in a trailer, and especially you get the big ones, and they got all these compartments and this and that, and all these systems, and that's just areas for mice to get in, other bugs to get in. I'm all about keeping it as simple as possible and as easy as possible, and yet still enjoy the experience. And I love my A-liner with all the windows in it. It's awesome. Even though it does affect energy consumption, especially since I don't have them covered with reflectix. But for the few weeks I'm going to be using the heat on a heavy basis. I prefer the glass. It's awesome. And here we are, more and more and more. And coming from out east, and you're used to all the vegetation, all the grass. That when I see grass out here, which is very, very rare, normally it'll be like a golf course or something like that, and it just stands out because there is none. But I'm sure that takes a lot of water resources to do that. But here, you just look at the vegetation that's available, and there's life here. And you see all these bushes, if you approach them, you're going to see holes burrowed into the ground. All different sizes for all the critters that are down there. Snakes, pack rats, scorpions. Populated as it is, you're used to seeing big towns, and unless you get into the Carolinas or Georgia, where you can drive for quite a while without really seeing anything. Florida, you couldn't do that. Jersey, you couldn't really do that because of the size. But here, I mean, it's all I can say is majestic. Now, part of it, I'm sure, is the fact that I've never really seen this before, so it's all new to me. But when you live in a city, and with all the artificial lights at night, your view of the sky is severely altered. One thing I loved about Florida, that you could see a sunrise on the Atlantic coast and then travel to the Tampa area or to the west coast of Florida and see the sunset in the day, and that's pretty cool. But here, you don't even have to move anywhere, and you get both. Not to mention the stars at night. It's incredible because it's so dark. The sky opens up to you. And whereas I might see one planet or a large star when I was in Orlando looking at the sky at night because of the light pollution, here it's just it's incredible. Incredible. This until we get to that turn a few miles down the road, because there's no reason to see this, and I'll turn it on again to record once we leave Parker. First came out here when I left Thunder Canyon, I was kind of apprehensive about coming to Quartzsite, and what I would find and whether I would like it or not, and I've been pleasantly surprised. You can go the route and hit the groups and be a social butterfly, or you can just park your rig, become part of a small community or not, and then just do your own thing. It's pretty cool, different. There's no way to. I was somewhat prepared for it by watching a lot of YouTube videos, especially during my days as a caregiver, and especially during the pandemic. That's how I studied a lot and came upon this life, and actually grew to love it. Talking to people, not talking to people, excuse me, watching videos of YouTubers that are going through it. There are quite a few. There's one of the best I liked. Two of them, the RV Odd couple who have the campground now, Thunder Canyon, and also Traveling Robert. He does his videos where he is also a musician and he adds his soundtracks, and he is thoroughly knowledgeable about where he's filming and gives you a vision of Americana that can only be given to you by an immigrant to this country. He came as a young child with his parents from Cuba, and right now he's currently home based in Miami, but he travels a lot. When he got his Winnebago, he's just out there all over the country, and his videos, if you ever want to see the life but in a glamorous light, and also the harsh realities too, Traveling Robert is cool. And of course, I educated myself on rigs, which is why I knew that I pretty much wanted an A-liner. Sorry, folks, little sip of Java. Gotta have my coffee. Now, when I go to the show on Saturday, I'm gonna, if I can, I will probably be filming while I'm in there. I was never able to go to the Tampa RV show because of my commitments to my parents. This one is not quite as big, but still, you got all the players here, and it should be a good time. I'll probably even find a few things that I need to buy for my rig. Not that I need to buy much. I mean, it's constantly one thing you're going to do if you ever decide to do this full time or do it quite a lot. Clutter. Clutter is amazing. It's because you got this stuff and you think you need it, and it's once you're finished decluttering, you're going to have to do it again. For example, I got a bin full of videos, DVDs, right? Say if I can't get any, any internet coverage, but I'm pretty much covered for that with Starlink and connected, which I ordered. I don't have it yet. But what you have to do, so what I'm doing now is I'm putting my movies and I'm buying them to put them on iTunes, because you carry all this stuff and room is so precious that even it's worth it for you to spend a few $100s to put these movies on the iPad. So I don't have to carry these items. It's just incredible. I watched my first video last night, and it was the first video I'd seen from a movie I owned since I started full time in September. So to have it's a big bin full of nothing but DVDs and collections and this and that. I mean, you got to bite the bullet. I mean, this is different challenges here. Now, and to compensate somewhat, I don't know how long we're going to be stuck here, but to compensate somewhat for the expenses that are added on, the fact that if you do this and you come out west and you're on federal land, you're not paying pretty much anything for rent. This year, what did it cost me? If I'm staying here 6 months, it comes out to what, $30 a month? And you get water, you get dump, you get garbage disposal. It's pretty cool. Anyway, we are stuck here. It looks like there's some kind of construction going on. We're not far from the turnoff, but we're not moving anywhere now, so obviously it's down to one lane. So I'm going to shut this off for now, and I will pick up when I'm done. And again, forgive my some stuttering, nervousness. This is a process. I mean, this is not natural to do this. So hopefully over time I'll get better. Like today, we're on the road. So shut you guys down. Talk to you later.